for the Built for Tough studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are in the free Odyssey app. Good Friday morning. It is a feel-good Mets Baseball Friday!
Man, I'm worn out.
Already at 6:01, you're worn out.
I got no sleep. How could you sleep after that game?
You could not. I mean, I was looking at the clock. It was 11:15. It was 12. I think I fell asleep somewhere around 10 to 1 after this unbelievable baseball game. And Pete Alonso, for months, we have talked about, every Mets fan has talked about Pete Alonso coming up big. Maybe tonight will be the night. Maybe today will be the day. Maybe the postseason he will wake up. And he comes up with an opportunity to take the lead with also an opportunity to hit into a double play. And I'm sorry, but after him dropping that pop-up when he's up there in that situation, I did it. I texted my mom, who's a diehard Mets fan. I texted 3 other friends. You know that the season's going to end with a Pete Alonso double play. And he hits the opposite field home run for one of the most memorable moments we have had. That's 2 now. 2 in a week that you're never going to forget in your lifetime as a Mets fan. They move on to Philadelphia. It really doesn't get more amazing than that. This 2024 team, at the very least, has given Mets fans moments that they will never forget.
I mean, the only way I can explain this is that there's a stat out there that I read this morning. I read it last night. I wanted to make sure that it's accurate, and I do believe that it is accurate. Pete Alonso of the Mets is the first player in MLB history to hit a go-ahead home run while trailing in the 9th inning or later of a winner-take-all postseason game. And that's the beauty of this home run compared to like Francisco Lindor's. Both unbelievable moments, both but different because this is an elimination game. They were down. They weren't doing much. Jose Quintana was awesome. Jose Butto didn't have his stuff. Give Carlos Mendoza a lot of credit for yanking him when he did because, you know, who knows where that goes if he doesn't get him out of there. We also got to give credit to Edwin Diaz for throwing the ball. You know, I think he had 39 pitches. And then there was the discussion after the home run. All right, what's he going to do? And I'm on the same text threads, maybe not as you, but the same type of text threads.
Sure, yeah.
So all of my text threads were saying as Pete Alonso was approaching the plate, this is your moment. Please, this is your moment. Just do it. We all want you to do it. You've been stuck in neutral. Just please. You couldn't ask for a better opportunity. And then for him to come through. Look, all of us Met fans, I think what makes this even better for us is that it was Pete Alonso and that we were and have been praying that somehow, some way he would have an impact with his bat at the biggest moment. And man, oh man, it doesn't get any bigger than that. It's never been done before. So Jose Quintana was great. Edwin Diaz did his job. Francisco Lindor was amazing. Getting the walk in the top of the 9th inning was great. Brandon Nimmo comes through with a hit. I don't know why I didn't try to steal second base, but that's a different story. That's a whole nother, forget that. And then, of course, Pete hits the home run. And then, you know, how about Jesse Winker? Jesse Winker does steal second, and Marte drives him in with an insurance run. And then, of all people, David Peterson throws 7 pitches.
Yeah.
And it ends with a double play, all individually made by Francisco Lindor. So from this Met fan who's been around for a long time, and we've seen a lot of amazing things from 86 to 73 to 69. I mean, we've seen a lot of amazing moments. These 2 moments that have happened in the last week, and then watching all the folks that were at Citi Field react to it. So, you know, I didn't get out of bed. I mean, I just stood there and I was stunned.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was happy, but I was stunned. But I will say this, that I know exactly how every single one of us felt just by watching that reaction at Citi Field.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of those truth is stranger than fiction things. I mean, this was a Disney movie. This was a 30 for 30. I mean, to just everything leading up to it. Contract year. Disappointing. He trips over his bat. He drops the foul pop-off. Everybody's laughing at him. you're down to your final breath on a team that has always come back, but he's been the one guy who hasn't joined in on the party. And to hit a 3-run homer to take the lead in that situation is as special and as crazy as you could possibly imagine. And I know Jerry will play it. I mean, the Howie Rose call is as good as it gets. I mean, the guy is, of course, we know how special of a play-by-play guy he is. He's been doing it forever. But when he's screaming, he did it! He did it! So I put that out last night after the game. I said, you got to listen to this no less than 500 times. And there's been, you talk about all the amazing moments, and you could look at it, you add these two on top of history of a lot of good moments. But how many of those have ended in disappointment, too, at the ends of games where you're thinking, all right, they're not going to get it done. It was fun. It was a special season. It's positive, whatever. If he hits it to a double play, which I think it's going to happen. All right, you go to bed. You come in here this morning and say, good for them, pat on the back. This 2024 team is not that team. Nothing that has gone on in the past with the New York Mets applies to this group outside of maybe some of their more special teams that have gone on to win World Series. That's where we're at right now. I mean, that's where we're at. Like, I said this was a great season regardless of the outcome. This team is so special that I believe now that they're capable of anything. After last night, they're capable of anything.
Well, look, I don't ever want to throw any cold water on anything. I mean, the Phillies are going to present problems, but the Mets have played them well this season.
We know that.
They've been tight. They got good starting pitching. The interesting thing is watching Pat Murphy do what he did last night. I mean, his pitcher basically threw 66 or 68 pitches, 44 of them were for strikes, and he took them out after 5. Now, I know this is what they do. This is who they are. He didn't want to face Lindor again at the top of that sixth inning.
Bottom line is they had their stud closer on the mound in the ninth inning with a 2-run lead.
We know that feeling.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We know that. But if you're a Met fan, you know that feeling. This feeling that we have this morning, we had it last week or earlier this week with the doubleheader down in Atlanta in Game 1, but we did have the backstop of Game 1. There was no backstop here. This was it. This was a moment where as soon as Lindor got on, this is when all of a sudden I kind of felt great, and then Nimmo had that nice solid hit. Lindor goes to third. I got to give my nephew Randy a lot of credit because we're on all these text messages, and I just put out there to that group. I said, man, now if there was ever a time that Pete has a moment, this has got to be it. And he sent me back 3 apples. He sent me back. He sent to the thread 3 apples. He's going 3 apples right here.
Yep.
And but again, you know what that is? That is a die-hard Met fan like you. I don't know if he's as big a Met fan as you, but a die-hard Met fan. No, he is. But he is a huge Met fan. Mr. and Mrs. Met at his wedding, the whole crazy nonsense about the whole thing, and he embodies the spirit of the Met fan that is praying that Pete Alonso can come through. He never wants to give up on his favorite players. And he's younger than me. I mean, and even I felt it last night. I was hoping beyond hope that somehow Pete would come through. And you talk, and Pete was talking about it after the game in the post-game interview. It was about this is what you grow up wishing that would happen for you.
Yeah, I mean, and it made it even more special with his struggles. I mean, sometimes you can't reach the greatest moments without going through something negative because that's what fuels you, and you can look back and say, man, all of it was worth it for a moment like this. And, Francisco Lindor, you can't say enough about him at this point. He was the only guy doing anything offensively for 95% of this game, and he gets on. And when you get that first guy on, especially when you get some of these closers, these good closers just going downhill, and you get that first out, and then bang, they get the confidence. You get that first guy on, like Lindor got on.
Well, I thought like 6th, 7th, and 8th were just like that.
Right.
Those guys were throwing heat, and guys were off balance.
But Lindor gets on, just changes the feel. Now you're talking about tying run at the plate, and here we go.
He battled his ass off to get on because
he did.
That Williams has got, like they were talking last night, he's got that unbelievable changeup, right? But I'm like, you know what? That's a changeup. That's going like in 80s. I'd rather have him up there than some guy throwing 100.
Well, he still's got some velocity. But, yeah, Francisco Lindor fouling off all the pitches. And I can't – the other thing, there's just so much credit to go around. We understand. But David Peterson to come out of the bullpen in that situation too. Like, you got to have some real mental fortitude and balls to do that.
But
when
he
you've
had a
really
great
never
season.
done
But
it.
of all the guys, though, no, he did a little bit last year, but maybe not as a closer, not in this big spot.
I mean, exactly. What do you mean? He's never been closing out a playoff game on the road with a 2-run lead like that?
I think you said it just about 5 minutes ago. You said this team can pretty much do anything. That Monday and last night. I mean, like, that just is special stuff. And you said it. So therefore, everybody wants to do or participate in it, and they want to pick up their teammates too, especially when their teammates let them down. So Edwin Diaz let the team down, and Francisco Lindor came back, lifted the team up. Edwin Diaz told Carlos Mendoza, "Look, I'm staying out here. I want to pitch through this. I want to get this done. I'm going to get this S done." He got it done on Monday, and then unfortunately, like Jose Budo, when he came in, didn't we all think, okay, this is good? We got our guy.
Yeah, of course.
We got our guy in there. He's going to be fine. And all of a sudden, 2 bombs later, like, okay, let's yank him out of there.
To a couple scrubs, too.
Well, whatever, but let's yank him out of there. And those guys had their moments. And let's bring in Edwin Diaz. And I was just, don't walk 9 guys, and let's just get through it. And 39 pitches later, he kept the team in the game. And so I want to give him credit because I've been on him like most of us are. But
and it's not over yet. I mean, we're still going to be. We're still going to be on him. He's still going to give us a lot of frustration and agita. But Carlos Mendoza, as we talked about, pushing a lot of the right buttons. He felt like we have to stop the bleeding right here, and the best guy that I can bring in right now, in his opinion, was Edwin Diaz. And even though it was up and down and not really a dominant performance, he did get the job done, and it did end up working out. So, I mean, Mendoza after the game with the champagne and just talking about this team again, it's really remarkable. I can't remember in any of the teams that I have rooted for in my entire life being this surprised and this shocked by results than with this group. I mean, I've never, and I'm talking, this is not recency bias. I remember 2015, obviously, the football seasons I've gone through and seen, basketball. There's never been a team that has shocked me as much as this team, time and time again, in a positive way. They were dead. They were done. They had a stupid team meeting. We were making fun of it.
They had 2 team meetings.
Yeah, right. And they had the one after the Lindor back thing. But back when they were 11 games under 500, it's like, oh, team meeting. Like, oh, stupid team meeting. No. And you look back on that might have been the greatest thing that ever happened to them.
Either that or the Grimace.
Yeah, right. Grimace and Hoctua.
Yeah, I mean, there's
the
a lot
gay
of stuff.
Mets, now the Pumpkin, OMG.
That's right. We get the playoff Pumpkin now. Yeah, so that Pete went out and picked it himself.
Right, OMG
now with Pitbull. Did he go out into like the Wisconsin farmland and go pick a pumpkin?
He must have, because
is that what he does? Like, remember what we were talking about Eli Manning always going out with Olivia Manning, his mom, and he would go antiquing. Wasn't that a thing with him?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So now Pete's out there going to farm country in Wisconsin picking pumpkins?
There is not a wife-mother combination on the planet that doesn't just gravitate towards that type of thing this time of year. I know,
but why is he doing it?
Well, because he has to, because he's being forced to do it, just like every other man is forced to do it.
Wait. Toxic masculinity right there.
But you know how
you need to be more understanding about why you go pumpkin picking.
You got to do it for your family. But you know how like little baby turtles are born and their first instinct is to go through the sand to the ocean?
Yes.
That's what happens to like these 30-year-old mom wives. They're just like instinctually they just pop out of a hole and go to some sort of farm to get a pumpkin and take a picture next to a scarecrow.
All right, well, we got the playoff pumpkin now. I mean, it's the Mets, so we got to have something.
Yeah.
And it's okay, and we had a moment that nobody has ever experienced before in Major League Baseball. So I was saying to the guys and gals out there in the bullpen, I said, we get to talk about something that's never ever happened before.
There's gals in the bullpen?
Well, I saw Amy out there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Usually I don't see a gal out there.
Well, I saw Allie, our makeup girl.
Yeah, but she doesn't. You don't talk sports with her.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
There's no sports talk with her. She's got weddings and
no, that's not just
boring stuff.
No,
like,
pumpkin picking.
Pumpkin picking.
I'm sure she's going to be pumpkin.
She
picking.
is on Saturday. Actually, that's what she talked about. Yeah, so going to.
She is going pumpkin picking.
I swear to God, yes, that's exactly what she's doing.
Oh,
I told you.
Come on.
I told you that's what they do.
Is she going North Fork or South Fork?
Hopefully North Fork.
I mean, there's a great pumpkin one out there just on Montauk Highway, right in Southampton. Right as you make the turn there, and the Audi dealer and
Hobbs Farms. Is that the one you're talking about?
It's a big one. It's got all sorts of like
water drinker
playground stuff and everything.
She's going to water drinker. That's what
water drinker.
She's
what
going to water
Where
drinker.
is that?
I don't know. I want to say Manorville or something. I'm not sure.
All right, Manorville.
But
whatever. But anyway, now we got a playoff pumpkin.
Yeah. And I mentioned when OMG first started that when the Mets have a theme song,
yes,
generally good things happen. And I brought up the examples of, 1999, it was Mojo Rising with Robin Ventura. They got to the NLCS. 2000, it was Who Let the Dogs Out. They made it to the World Series. Now they've got you had the trumpet thing in 2022. That was a theme song for them. And it kind of flamed out there, but it did make the playoffs.
Trumpet thing for him.
What's that?
It's weird.
Yeah, I know, because
because
batter.
when he's facing
right.
Edwin Diaz, he's coming up with Edwin Diaz's music.
I know it's
and
going to fire
Let's
him up.
Go Mets go in '86.
Let's Go Mets go in 1986. Absolutely. Seeing
the Amazins in '69.
Would that song fuel them throughout the season?
I don't know. I mean, like, who knows? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
I'm just.
When they get a theme song, the special things happen. And here you go. You got another theme song.
This was more than special last night. This is legendary stuff. This is legacy stuff.
Legacy
Man,
spots.
If you could do this like in a game 7 in a World Series.
You're getting greedy now. You're getting greedy. Just stop getting greedy.
I'm just saying that's what would top this.
Yeah, I mean it was that amazing.
There's not very many things that would top what just happened last night.
You're right.
In baseball.
I mean, and we were saying, what's crazy about it? We were saying the same thing on Monday. The way that they came back, we said in 1 week.
But that was a doubleheader. They had the second game. You said that whoever won the first game,
I
was
agree.
lose the second game.
You're right.
This one here.
This was bigger.
This is why this is huge.
Right.
This is like something that's never happened before, and our team had it happen for it.
Did it? Yes, that's right, and that is not lost on a fan base that has gone through it. All right, Boomer and Gio just getting started on this feel-good Mets baseball Friday on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. We will do some football as well. Jerry joins us in just a couple of minutes to play all the sound from a celebratory night in Milwaukee for the Mets. Got some weather for you right now.
Cork
brought to you
for
by
everybody.
Huh?
Cork for everybody.
Celebratory cork.
Yeah, cork.
Weather brought to you by Dunkin'. Want a satisfying meal for just $6? Try the new $6 meal deal from Dunkin'. It's a medium hot or iced coffee and a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich and a side of hash browns for $6. America runs on Dunkin'. Cloudy today with a high of 74. It's 58 right now in the city.
I was just looking back at the replay of us dancing as we opened the show. There was a time where I actually looked like I knew what the hell I was doing. I feel like the older I'm getting, the whiter I'm getting.
Yeah, and I went to do like a little dance with you. I went to grab your hands, and you said, "Get the F away from me."
Get the F away from me. Grabbing your hands. It would have
been great
with you.
It would have been a nice little CBS Sports Network video. I bet you Stephen Waldron's very upset that didn't happen.
Well, I don't want to hurt Stephen Waldron's feelings.
Well, we got another opportunity later.
No, yeah, okay.